Hello everyone, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use tile maps in Unity. Tile maps can be used to create or design your level in your 2D game. Now starting off, I imported the Sunnyland asset artwork, link in the description. I'm going to use the tiles existed for our example. First of all, as you can see here, we have this empty 2D project and an empty scene. All I'm going to do is go into our hierarchy, right click, 2D object, tile map, and going to choose rectangular of our tile map layout. And it automatically create a tile map with a grid for it. Simply we have this open palette here, and in the asset Sunnyland, we have the main palette that's already ready to use. But I'm going to show you how we can import our own palette instead. So first of all, I'm going to open here, and we need to create a new palette. I'm going to call it new. Now it allows us to create a folder or where to store this palette. Simply I'm going to put it in this new folder, and our palette now is actually empty. We can drag and drop sprites or textures to import them. And if we go to our Sunnyland asset environment tile set, we're going to use this slice tile set here as an example. Of course, remember that this has its own settings and it's already been spliced in the sprite editor. So I'm gonna drag and drop it here, and it will ask us where to put the tile assets that's going to be created for our palette. I'm gonna put them in the same new folder. We just need to wait Unity to create the necessary assets for our palette. And here you go, it's now ready to be used. Simply gonna go to our tile map, and when I click what palette I need to actually draw, simply I can draw them now. And you can choose which one and anyone you want to. Of course, it depends on the current sprites or textures that you have. A very important thing that you need to know is when we go to our texture that we're going to use for our palette, make sure the sprite mode and the pixel per unit is set correctly as it needed. Different sprites or textures might have different settings. You need to be careful which one are you going to use and what values are you going to set. For example, as you can see, our tile map here is perfectly set, nothing wrong. If I change this into another value, as you can see, it's all kind of screw up. Even though I try to draw something new, it doesn't actually fit. So it is not necessary to set the values already here, because it depends on your textures and sprites that you're going to use, and it depends on the dimension that you have. And the reason I'm setting here 16 for our pixel per unit, if we go to our sprite editor, we can see that all sprites here are actually slides with 16 by 16. So you need to be careful the values you're going to be setting in your texture. As you can see, it's all very simple to use our tile map. We simply create a new tile map, create a palette, import what we want, and there we go. And of course, you can use multiple tile maps in your game. For example, I want another tile map here. I'm just gonna create another one and simply create another. I'm gonna put this into ground, for example. And the second tile map is for background. Now, of course, remember, if you want to use a tile map as a ground, something to move on or our player can walk, you need to add the collider for our tile map. Easy as it is, go to the necessary tile map that you want. In my case, this is the one I want to be ground. Add component. We're going to tile map collider 2D. This will automatically add collider for each image that's going to be drawn on the screen. For example, if I want to draw another, as you can see, there are going to be have colliders. And to make things more smooth, add the composite collider 2D and set our tile map collider to be used by composite. In this case, it is not necessary to each image in our tile map to have its own collider. Instead, Unity will merge these colliders into one. So our example here, I have this one that has its own collider, and if I draw another, as you can see, they now have the same collider as they need. So they cannot be merged into one collider. And for our background, it can simply act as a background. An important thing you need to know is the order in layer. Now, for example, I'm going to draw something in our background. This, for example, as you can see, we need to set the layer to know which one is drawn on top of each other. So if I set the ground layer into 1, as you can see now it draws on top on the background. So simply the higher number in the layer, the higher priority it is. So background, I'm going to set 2. Now the background is being drawn on top of the ground. It is very simple and easy for this to use if you have multiple tile maps and you want to know which one is being rendered on top of each other. So yeah, this is everything you basically need to know about tile maps. It's easy as it is and very simple. You can draw everything as you have here, and you can import your own textures with the own correspondent settings, and there you go, it's ready. And for bigger tiles, or like for example the house, you don't need to put it as a tile because most of the time it might not work. So if you want to import it on your map, simply import it as a sprite renderer and set your own size for it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video and would like to see you next time.